Yeah, it's Arabic.
Really? Yeah, this sounds Arabic.
Yeah.
Good times. You have some questions? My band is called Mazinga. We formed at the ass end of 1995, and we were a bunch of dudes who had, well, actually, a few of us were dudes who had been in and out of bands for like a long time and had failed at everything that we'd ever attempted. And so we just happened to all be living together and said like, well, we fucked up every time we ever tried to do some shit right. So but we were all living together, and we lived with a bunch of musicians, and we had instruments everywhere, so we just started playing sort of like without any intention of doing anything. She called my name, and I don't know. Was actually, it was kind of weird because our guitarist was a bassist without really any guitar experience. Our bassist was an artist without any music experience, and our drummer was a badass jazz drummer. And then there was me, and so we just sort of said like, well, what could we make like that we could all do, that we could all agree on and sort of play easily, and so we chose punk. And then we decided, you know, in sort of a nod to our Ann Arbor forefathers to put wah into it. So we were sort of we became like a punk band with wah, which was really in the 90s offensive to a lot of people.
Wow.
Yeah.
So do you feel that the climate has changed since the 90s for having wah in the music? Or
yeah. Yeah, it's definitely. Actually, it was interesting because we were sort of too early and too late for a lot of stuff. It's like when we started doing the kind of like wah punk thing, like it was very uncool, especially around here, where you know you had sort of these. It was just like a weird sort of like transitional period for the area, and then it was kind of weird because sort of at the end of the '90s and sort of beginning of the zeros, you started getting these bands that were very much like doing an homage to the regional sound. You know, you had what was, you know, which became the international garage thing. And we were here like this sort of like Misfits MC5 hybrid, and we had short hair, so we kind of couldn't really like, we couldn't quite get into that scene, you know? It was a little bit too much Marshall and not enough Vox, you know? And so the groups that kind of dressed like the groups that influence us, they did better than we did. And we sort of broke up briefly and then got back together a couple years ago. So.
Nice.
The climate has changed. And now you have to sound like Afrobeat and be from Brooklyn or something, and you know, try to like amp like King Sunny Odd Day or something, and but be white people and wear polos, and or be from the West Coast and pretend you're like the Stone Canyon Band or something, and that's kind of what's happening now, in my opinion.
Great. Well, thank you very much
You're
for your
welcome.
time.
Nadea.
Nadira.
Nadira. Nadea. Potato. Sorry.
Right.
Sorry.